Hello everyone and welcome to Tiresome. Today we are getting the Supra started. That's right everyone, all of this, including snail nest and everything, will be heating up in a moment. We're only going to see if we can get it started and fired. The radiator doesn't have any coolant in it, let alone much radiator left in it. We want to see if the turbo spins, we want to see if all 6 cylinders sing, we want to listen out for any rod knock. We're going to be using, of course, our pile of bits, our computers, our resistors, things that go way above my head, things that should probably be sat here. I can already tell, actually, I think this is one of the resistors we've got 2 of over there, so hopefully, even if we do have a broken one of them will work. But whilst Tim is busy toiling away doing his wiring for the immobilizer, which will be inside and sort of about there on the right hand side of the ignition switch, whilst he's doing that wiring, I am going to give her a bit of a clean because, well, you can see it looks like the car came out of Shrek's swamp. And I mean, I know the car's bad, it's got its rust spots and everything like that, but it could look better just with a little clean. Don't get me wrong, just with a bit of fairy liquid or something, nothing too fancy, but yes, that is the plan. Are you looking at your wiring?
Yes.
And regretting your life?
Yes, definitely.
What we are doing is we are assembling some battery tray crap, all right then. We just found a bracket just sitting here inside the car, so even though we got a table full of stuff over there.
No, it was off the table.
It was off the table, so luckily the table full of stuff was there. And that goes in.
Oh. And as always, with any good car starting video, in order for anyone to actually work on the interior, you have to clean all the glass out from the old broken window. So, first step's cleaning. Cleanliness leads to godliness. This is very satisfying. Trying not to hoover up any screws. Oh shit. Now your environment is nice and clear for a Tim to work in. 2 things I'll mention. Firstly, I have never ever organised any screws or bolts from the scimitar. But I haven't even built this car yet and already I'm organising things. Also, I've never ever, and this is a fun fact, I've had the scimitar for almost 10 years, I've never hoovered it. And I've already hoovered this one and it doesn't work yet. So, there you go. The scimitar is a workhorse and will always work. There we go, organisation. These are normal Supra wheel nuts, and then, oh my god, mother wheel nut has arrived. Hi Tim, well, whilst I've been cleaning, what have you been up to?
I am working on the wiring, and
yes.
I've just come across that there was a broken connector.
Oh right.
So I'm fitting a new one if I can.
And just to clarify, everyone at home, this Cobra unit is not a factory unit, this was aftermarket installed.
That's right.
You can tell by this solid, this shoddily installed unit here. Sorry Tim.
I didn't.
You didn't do it, someone did.
Someone did
it back in the day or something.
It was yeah, someone locally
anyway,
installed it properly.
That is where the fob will go. I'll show you. Oh, there's one, look.
There's one.
So the procedure for starting the car will be in there and then turn the ignition on and it'll start absolutely fine. As far as units go, we've got one of these already installed, but we've got 2 spares.
I just brought down what I could find
and,
in case there wasn't.
Rightly so, spares is the aim of the game. I think we have one of these as well, don't we?
Yes.
Igniter, I assume that's a coil. No.
Yes, it doesn't. No, it has 6 coils.
What, one for each cylinder?
One for each cylinder.
So what's an igniter then?
That probably controls it.
That controls the oh, so this is the distributor?
Sort of, yes.
Okay, I'm going to carry on vacuum cleaning. I'm a mechanic.
Yes. And I'm the electrician today.
Yeah. So neither of us mechanics?
No.
When a fastener becomes one with a bit of sheet metal, you know that you're
You see, I can recognise anything from the Supra. That is very sad. Yes, that's a clip from the Supra.
Yeah, well, all right, genius.
Well, I can't tell you where it goes.
Ah!
I said I
Little
could...
liar boy.
I said
liar.
I said I can...
Oh, your panties are on fire.
I said I can...
Be gone.
I can recognise the bits, I just can't tell you where they go.
I'm going to start hoovering the engine bay. I know, that's something that I don't think many people have done before. But whilst I'm doing this, Tim is actually doing the wiring inside. It's time, everyone. It's time to say goodbye to the snail graveyard.
Ono sonami. Ono sonami.
Yeah, a bit of that. Oh yeah. It's time to see how much of the boot I can hoover, because quite a lot of water in there as well, and this isn't a wet and dry hoover, so we'll see how far we get.
Modern art, darling. Yeah, yeah.
I am getting rid of these puddles so that I can vacuum this here rear end. That looks the same but better, doesn't it? Doesn't that look the same but better? Lovely. From what I can see, the whole let's start the car today scenario pretty much hinges on this.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just squirt some stuff down the turbo and crank it.
Make sure we've got all the things connected.
Yeah, we know it's got oil and we know it's rotate, the engine
Oh, you've
rotates.
checked it rotates, have you?
No.
So do we know it rotates?
Yeah, okay. Point taken. And then should I take the plugs out and put some oil down there?
It might be wise.
Yeah.
It might be wise.
All right. I'll do that instead of cleaning then, shall I?
Yeah.
To be fair, I have finished hoovering now.
Oh, that's right then.
Good. Right. Also, to do the engine, new tool! I love new tools. Look at the control. Ready? Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. This is good, apart from my socket's already got caught. This is one of those tools that I thought, you know, this is really lazy, and then Tim used one, as you saw in one of the last videos, and I was like, oh, I need one of them. So now I have one. Thank you, Father. Belayed Christmas present. Oh, yes. We should have a pot to put all these in. Can you remove that light cover? Oh look, a pot to put all these in.
Lovely.
Now this is something I don't like Toyota doing. 2 screws from the same inlet manifold pipe, and one is that long and one is that long. I know that it's efficiency, it's because that's, you know, that's how long they need to be. Why would they need to be longer than that? But now I need to remember which one goes where, which I've already forgotten. That was a good one. I can't get it out.
Should do them.
Lovely. With Tim's bit of wisdom that it was just the pipe keeping it in, I wasn't going to rip anything apart, use massive tools that are way overkill, and they're fine. So there was a bolt, last bolt under that breather pipe that we just got off. That comes off. Wow, that's very easy. That comes off intake, I guess, air intake. Right, so their coil pack's all loose now. Top tip, mechanics, take pictures when you don't know what you're doing, because then you can tell that 1, 6, 3 something 2, 5, so that must be 4, is the firing order in the coils. Now I can unplug them all. So the coil packs are off, and there's a load of crap in the middle between the cams on top of where the spark plugs go. And before we take the spark plugs out and then drop all that shit into the cylinders, just going to get the hoover back out again. Well, they're all sort of out. There's loads of oil in there for some reason, which is good, because these engines normally don't have oil, and that's the problem with them. But I'd much rather there be a lot of oil than
I don't know, one gets stuck in the block, for instance. Rest in peace, Harry. I hear the Daihatsu from a few episodes back is having massive spark plug redaction surgery. One of them stuck in it with an extractor socket stuck in it, which is horrific. But I'm sure you'll get it out eventually, lol. Speaking of which, should we actually get some of these out now? Oh my god. Okay. How am I supposed to fucking get it out? That's insane. You're kidding? Why? I think maybe when I next service the car, when I service the car as in ever, might get some new plugs for it. Little treat, you know? What Tim just said then from afar was that if there's oil here in the valley on top of the plugs, it means that their gaskets, what, the rocker gasket? Yeah. The rocker gaskets are gone, and that's leaking oil then into the valley. And the shadow of death. Take a look at my life and be alive. So the plugs are out now, and that's fabulous. I've managed to mostly, oh, my fingernails look horrible. But yes, the plugs are out. I'm just going to spray a bit of WD-40. Everyone has their own little trick. Some people have like special chemicals they put down the cylinders to make sure they're well lubricated. Some people just use diesel oil. Some people use diesel itself. I'm just going to use some WD-40. It's what we got. It's a penetrant. It's, you know, all that sort of good stuff. And it's better than nothing in my book. Oh yes, a bit of that. Good stuff. Lovely. Now, I'm gonna leave that for like just 5 or 10 minutes. You could leave it as long as you want, really, the longer the better, but we're gonna go 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna get a socket on the crank and put a ratchet on it and see if I can actually turn the engine over. Should be quite easy to do without any plugs in. Then once that's done, or whilst that's doing, sorry, what I'm gonna do is clean the plugs up. And then once we've taken the rotation, we'll do a 360 degrees rotation on the crank to prove that all the cylinders, you know, go in full operation, full cycle. Plugs back in, reassemble the coil packs and everything. Hopefully Tim would have finished the wiring by then, and we should be good to go. Another thing that I haven't mentioned yet, I've got the clocks. I've got the cluster, the clocks, so we're going to pop them in, plug them in. We should see a bit of like some sign of life or something when we turn the ignition on, and that'd be really cool. Just little things like those lights, the beeps, the bongs, the wipers, the jets, and of course the engine, hopefully, but we'll see in a minute once I've done more cleaning and stuff like that. Okay, I've got a socket on the crank. The socket, the spark plugs are out and they've been lubricated now. The cylinders have been. So the question is, will the engine rotate? Yes, of course it does. We all knew it was going to. Oh, and it's getting easier and easier as we go. That's way over 360 degrees now. So we are clear to put our spark plugs back in. And then, Tim, how's your wiring coming on?
Done.
Done?
Yes.
Well, that's bloody good. So that means we'll get these spark plugs back in, the coil packs back on, and try and start the car?
Yeah. Well, you do,
Cool.
you do that. I'm going to put the dashboard, the clocks back in as well, so we can actually see
Yes,
all the lights and stuff like that come on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, now we're going to have a go at getting in the original dashboard for the car, and look at the mileage on it, 118,000 miles, and that's genuine. So, you know, as you can see, it's not been used for a while. Let's try and get these plugs in, which are a bit of a nightmare.
Oh, I'm getting plugs in as well.
Easy, just like that. There we go. Dashboard in.
The plugs are in and the leads are on. Look at my beautiful work. Doesn't it look exactly the same? We could have just filmed this in reverse and it would have looked exactly the same. But they're in, they're cleaned up. I did a bit of wet and dry on the plugs as well. It's lovely. Next step then is to put the coil packs back on and plug these in the wrong order. Right, man, look at this fucking shit. And his door's open. Yeah. Oh, it's actually just slid open. This is interesting now. Oh, you closed it by braking. We're done. Look at this. Coils all in. Oh, fucking hell. These leads are the... Look at this bouncy piece of shit.
I know.
What we should be able to do now is put a battery in and turn the ignition on, look for any weird smoke that's going on. And what we do is we might do a couple of pre-flight checks, just maybe check some lights out, wipers as well, just little things like that, see what's going on. Because that would be pretty cool to find out before we start squirting and cranker, you wanker! Something to note about this little 063 battery is that it came out of that Fiesta that was a failure a few months ago. This battery I haven't touched since. I did just check the voltage on it and it's about 9 volts, which obviously isn't enough to start the car. You would really want 11 plus to try and start a car. But the good news is that if anything or any of the wiring is done with the car and decides to go a bit smoky, then at least there's only 9 volts going through it. Lovely. And if you're wondering why it's wobbling so much, we just snapped a bolt off in there.
I mean, we.
Yeah, sorry, Tim did.
Cheeky.
Electricity going to the car for the first time in millennia.
Good, no sparks.
I think there was a little bit.
Was there? No smoke.
No smoke. Well, no smoke. Yeah, we haven't even looked inside. I am absolutely frothing, waiting to fucking turn this on. Not start it even, just to see if anything lights up. What's gonna happen? Oh! Key position 1. Are you ready?
Go on then.
Nothing happened. Let's try putting a battery booster on, shall we? Tim's got a new battery pack. It's got a screen on it. Wonder how much better. Look at this. Look, can he play Doom on it?
Probably.
So it's got 16 points. Look at the tech on this.
I know.
Okay, sure. Right. Well, wang it on.
Basically, the doom will be when we go like that and we all get electrocuted.
Electrocuted.
Yeah.
Doomed. I've got a light.
You can hear some relays clicking.
You can hear relays clicking. Oh, my battery was shit all along. Key position 1. We've got a clock. It's 2 minutes past 1 in the morning. Ah, no fuel pressure or anything. Not pressure, but you know what I mean.
Don't forget the immobiliser.
Yeah, I know. Just key position 1.
Yeah.
We've got anti-lock light. That's because the skid control box isn't on. Overdrive off, it says. Oh. Okay.
The overdrive's back on again now.
Luckily, I've got a lens cap. 2 sets of keys, so I can actually immobilise while the other key is in. I mean, it's off, but only because I tapped it. Right, we're going to try cranking.
Can do.
It cranked. Okay, sure. This relay is having a field day in here. Okay. I mean, to be fair, it sounds like it wants to.
Well, it would do. I mean, there's probably no fuel.
The other thing as well, with the battery pack clicking on and off, I think that's confusing the immobiliser somewhat.
Could be.
So, you've heard of people trying brake cleaner? There's specific car starting fluids. There's all this sort of stuff. We're going to try WD-40 and see how well we go with that.
That's all we got.
That's all we got, and it is flammable, so it should work. But there's a lot of things against us. Dodgy immobiliser, battery pack that's clicking in and out, and... sure.
Yeah, battery pack's picked up.
Nothing?
Nothings. Certainly turn over quickly.
Yeah.
Throttle.
We managed to find some brake cleaner, so this has got a much higher chance of well, I was going to say flammability. Causing fires and also starting a car. Let's have a go. We're having troubles. We've gone through Tim's battery pack, mine's on now, and we've got the immobiliser here, which Tim has spent pretty much all day wiring up. And it's not necessarily the most reliable thing ever. I've just seen the light come back on. So I think actually under normal sort of, when you're not pissing about with jump packs and stuff, it's probably all right. But anyway, let's go.
Throttle. Just keep throttling. Keep throttle wide. Oh!
Fire extinguisher.
Did you catch that, Alice?
Yeah.
Got it. Did it start? It started technically, right?
It did start. Boom! I think there must have been a bit of brake cleaner somewhere.
Yeah. Not, I mean, yeah. That's weird firing order noises, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
No, nothing. Nice. We're losing light and we're losing the will to live. We tried. Yeah. We tried. We got I crashed into it. I tried everything and it's just not starting. We caught fire to it. Well, Tim caught fire to it. And now it's not even wanting to crank with battery packs, scimitars or anything. So we're going to take an evening out. We're going to charge all our batteries. We're going to come back literally tomorrow and try again with more success, hopefully. More batteries at least, and we can figure out if there's something wrong with that timing. I don't think there is.
It did catch touch at one point.
What, fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. For no less than 15 minutes it was on fire.
Felt like that.
Yeah, it did. Right, cut to then. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Supra Paradise. Well, it's safe to say we found out what the issue was. Tim actually messaged me last night and said, yeah, you're an idiot. This is what the issue is. Some of you may have, well, quite a lot of you probably thought this as well, because what happened was when I plugged, we even called ourselves out because we said there's definitely a timing issue. Those are timing issue noises that are happening. And the coils that go in on the top, obviously I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which isn't the case. They do go in case of firing order on the coil packs. However, for the cylinders, they are marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think the fact that they were just sequentially numbered for the cylinders but not for the coil packs, I don't know. It screwed with me some way. We had done a lot yesterday. I was a bit fried maybe, I don't know. But I'm sorry if you've ripped your dick off between now and then, going, that's what the fucking problem is. How dare you try and run this engine who hasn't run in ages and do it in the wrong firing order. We're going to swap them around immediately, check our connections, have another bash. Should it fail, we've got another couple of sensors, maybe we'll check earthing points and things like that. But to be honest with you, with the firing order almost entirely wrong, I'm sure putting it correctly will increase our chances a lot. So shall we try? So we got the cylinders correctly in now. Also worth noting, I don't know if it was us just redoing these here, but number 2, as in the actual cylinder down under here, was unplugged as well. So somewhere in the kerfuffle of us trying to get these fitted originally, it might have been that number 2 wasn't even plugged in. These leads are all, I think they were really good back in the day, but you might be able to see, well, let me just take one off. You can see here a little rodent probably has been at that, which has caused some breakthrough. They seem to come off the cylinders extremely easily, not to mention the coil packs very easily as well. So it's definitely one of those things that I think, obviously if it fires now that's great, but ideally in the long run, before we put it on the road, for reliability, we'd probably want to change them. But the firing order, in order of the coils at least, is 1, 6, 3, 4, 2, 5, if you're interested. All right. Another thing worth mentioning, everyone, is this car has no exhaust. It has an exhaust manifold, but it does not have an exhaust pipe. So if this does fire, it's going to sound fairly interesting. All right, are we ready?
Are we ready?
Righto. I've got lights on the dash, Tim.
I've got fuel. Life. Smoke.
Fire, yeah.
God, I had something spark out. Not what it was.
Jesus. Car's filled with smoke. Oh, ignition's back on.
Good.
And ready.
Yeah.
And again. So it's gone out, it's only the internal.
Just a little bit. Oops.
Fire.
I reckon that's the battery done, isn't it? Technically, the car has ran for a little bit, but it would be good to hear it sort of run a bit better. So we're going to give it one more go. Now that the battery that we bought this morning, or Tim bought this morning, is now depleted, we're throwing a jumper pack on it, and we're going to just try one last time, see if we can get it run a bit better, maybe just a little bit longer, just so we can hear that everything's right. Because at the moment, even though we're pretty sure the engine's okay and we can hear there's no knocks or anything like that, we haven't heard it run for long enough, really, to be able to properly gauge any of that sort of stuff. Also, we don't want to put too much strain on it, right? The engine obviously isn't going to run optimally under this circumstance, and it's a bit of a hard effort to make this rather highly what's the word I'm looking for? Highly strong. Yeah, like there's like the tolerances are very small in this engine, and to just start doing this sort of thing, sure, if you're working on a big block Chevy or the Scimitar or anything like that, you could do this all sort of day, but it's a bit of a shame to do it with this sort of computer-controlled scientific wizardry. So what we'll do is we'll have one more bash, see if we can get it to run for a bit longer, shall we? All right. Right, the mobiliser's off.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. That'll do, donkey.
And there we have it, everyone. What's that, like maybe 4 cylinders, lots of fire, poor shell-shocked Tim over there. Thank you very much, Alice, for filming, of course. And, I mean, the car ran, and I'm glad we did go for that second attempt too and put the jump packs on, because it really did run just for a little bit longer, just enough for us to hear that crank go round properly. And now, the next steps are going to be, probably the next episode that you guys are going to see, is us jacking the car up from the back and checking out all the rust back there, because I think that's probably the worst part of the car. It's hard for me to remember how many times I've said that's definitely the worst part of the car, but this is definitely the worst part of the car. Then, once we've done that, it's going to be less of a more precise episode, sort of, we're doing this specifically, we're doing that specifically, and it's going to be Tim and I, probably me undoing parts of the engine, getting ready for a replacement head gasket and things like this, whilst Tim is cutting out the back end and maybe even starting to weld some plates back in there as well. So we will catch it all, but it will be more of a part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forever, rather than, you know, specific separate episodes, even though that's the way I'd like to do it in the real world. Realistically, when you're just trying to get the job done, it's quite hard to plan all this stuff out, and you end up waiting on parts and waiting on time to do stuff, whereas this way I think it would be more efficient to do it this way, just to get the car done and on the road, hopefully as soon as possible. We will see. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks again, Alice and Tim, for your lovely help, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.